How you doing? It's Jimmy here. Got a new EDC I want to show to you. Not sure how this setup's going to work because she's using my sister's bipod because I'm staying at her place tonight and don't have mine. But I got a new Olight g19 form pistol. It is from polymer80builder.com. It's the g19 Elite. So it's got all the cutouts, and let's go ahead and clear it for you. Nothing in the chamber. Running the holosun 507C X2, unless this is the V2. Nope, this is the V2. This is the V2 before the X2. And a Olight Valkyrie PL Mini 2. I snatched. Come on, focus. Focus. There it is. I snatched both of these off of my G34 that y'all have seen in previous videos, I believe. I'm not positive. But I built this yesterday morning. And since then, because 9mm is extraordinarily hard to come by right now, I have 47 rounds through it. I know, it's a whole bunch. I mean, especially for an EDC. And I just noticed tonight that I was having issues out of my extractor. It was extracting. It wasn't ejecting. So I took it apart. This is the first one that I've built the upper end. I've always built the lowers because, you know, for a polymer 80, you've got to. This is my third polymer 80. But this is the first one that I've put the upper together. And I didn't notice until tonight. This is a live round. I'm the only one within a half mile of myself. So long as I don't put it to my head and pull the trigger, I'm probably good. All right, in the chamber. There it goes. Let's see if it ejects. It ejects perfectly now. What happened earlier is I had over lubricated it. I had so much lube pissing out the hole that it was just coming back and it was hitting a hydro lock behind. Checking again. It is empty. And this one has a new slide stop slide release right there. It's much more tactile. It's not flat. It's not got the three little bars cut in it. If you're used to running a polymer 80, it comes with those three little bars on it on most of them. This is a next gen. It sticks out just a little bit. It's still smooth, but it's easy to get a hold of. But anywho, we'll take it apart. But out comes the recoil spring, out comes the barrel. When I had it this far apart, I couldn't feel anything that was wrong right here in the extractor. I mean, you could push the button and it would not operate like I thought it should. So I took everything apart, and this port right here, I had dropped some Boogaloo in it, which, yes, that is actually a thing. Boogaloo, if you look it up. It's good stuff, but it had filled up the port behind that and it wouldn't let go of the cartridge. So I just put it right back in the chamber, or it would get stuck the opposite direction because there was so much in there that it wouldn't actuate. So I had to take it all the way back apart, take a little Kleenex and go down in there and clean it out, and then polish it back up, put it all back together, and I'm running it. It's still wet. I mean, it's not dry by any means, but it's definitely not as wet as I would normally run a brand spanking new gun. I'm still using the plastic capture rod spring. I haven't had one fail. My 17 slide 19, which I don't have with me, or I'd show it to you, I've actually already repainted it because I've already worn all the finish off the slide. But I've had between 1,500 and 2,000 rounds through that gun, and I have not had an issue out of that plastic rod. Everybody's like, oh, you got to get the stainless steel, you got to get the titanium, you got to get... No. Run it till it breaks. Have 2 more sitting in your range bag, because if it's your EDC and you start seeing wear on it, you should check your EDC weekly. I clean my EDC weekly. During the summer, I clean it like twice a week because I'm a fat ass, I sweat a lot, and I'm in the South. And this summer, I'm going to be in Florida all damn summer. All right, we're back together. But I set it up with this 507 and this Valkyrie PL Mini 2. But like I was saying, clean it weekly. I don't shoot weekly. I wish I could. I can't afford that. I try and shoot a minimum of 50 rounds a month. That's what I'm shooting for. 47 is 2 15-round mags and a 17-round mag. That's what I did yesterday. As soon as I got this thing built, I went out, I oiled the shit out of it, and I went out and I shot it. I had the 15 round in it. I did some reload drills. I ran the first 15 through it just to make sure it was going to function. I used my 17, put 1 round back in, put the empty back in, slide lock, reload out of a holster, and I'm running a sidecar holster. This is not an LAS tactical. This is not a, T-Rex arms. This is just, I found it on Facebook for $70. Now, when I got it, I did not get it cut for an optic. I got it cut for the PL Mini 2 because it is my favorite light. It's a small diameter light. It's plenty freaking bright. It'll blind anyone that you want to inside the distance of a room. That's why I got this holster, because they made it for the PL Mini 2. I didn't get it optic cut. So if you look right here, I don't know if you can tell, but I cut almost a 1/4 inch out of all of this mess through here to get that optic to fit. It has a sweat guard on it. It's not a huge sweat guard that goes up to here and turns, whatever, all that fun stuff. It's just a minor sweat guard. But I had to cut all this out, and it's not factory smooth. You can see where I went after it with a Dremel. And yeah, that's probably my belly hair stuck on there. Yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah, it's my gun. It's my holster. We'll get my belly hair off of there. But I've been carrying that 17 slide in this one for close to a year. And it stuck out. This one fits nice and flush right there. That 17 stuck out about that far, and it dug. Especially when I was driving long distances, and I do drive long distances for work. So I had to, well, I didn't have to. I mean, it was standable. I could stand it. But in the same token, why stand it when these haven't gone up in price since this shit started? This is still, the gun was $550. I bought a new sight to go on it. It hasn't shipped yet. I'm going to cancel it and buy one in a gun store locally, because why am I going to pay eBay for something when they won't ship it to me? I paid for 3 days shipping. I expect it in 4 days. They haven't even picked it yet. It doesn't even say shipping. I don't even have a number for it yet to figure it out. Yeah, I'm a little irate about it. So I'm going to cancel that order. And I don't know whether I'm going to buy another holosun 507 C X2 or V2, or whether I'm going to buy the new holosun 507 C, can't remember the number for it, the one with the ACSS reticle. So this one has a 2 mil dot with a 32 mil ring around it. The new one with the ACSS has a chevron that is about 20 MOA. I can't remember the exact numbers, with about a 200 MOA ring around it. And the point of that one is, and that's probably what I'll put on here if I do buy that. The point of that one is when you bring your gun up and present, if your gun is cocked at all, if you're not locked out perfectly, if you're sitting in an odd position, if you're laying on the ground, if somebody's shooting at you and you're trying to shoot back under a car, you're not in a normal position. That 200 mil ring gives you an edge. And I'm not talking like a tactical edge. It's really, yes, it is a tactical edge. But when you come up with your gun, you get the edge of that ring and you can tell which edge you're on because it's a ring, and you can adjust much more quickly than trying to find a 2 mil dot in that window or the 32 mil ring in that window and then trying to center that on target. You just find the edge of that and then you can walk it in real quick instead of, oh God, I don't have a dot, what do I do? I mean, I front sight shoot because that's fast for me. I mean, I can find the front sight, bring it up, I'm on target, bang, bang, bang. But if you're in an odd position, it takes a lot longer to find that front sight, figure out where your rear sight is, bring it into bear. You can still do the same thing with just that 200 mil ring, get it on target, and then you've still got that 20 mil chevron to pick your target off of that. But if I can't get a hold of one of those because things are the way they are, coof and all, I do have another one of these 507c3s ordered to go back on my 34, which I use for running guns. And if you haven't ever done a running gun, you should. It is a 5 to 10K, sometimes as little as 2.5, sometimes as much as 15. They like to make them longer than they say they are, but it's a 2-gun match. The last one I ran was at VOD Tactical Range in Old Fort, North Carolina. And then I've run 2 down at DeWitt's in Ellaby, North Carolina. But I've also done 1 DMR, designated marksman rifle, down in South Carolina, which was an awesome match. Any match you can go to is a great match. Don't put down going to a match because they're definitely going to test your skills. Any match you can get into. Most of the ones I shoot are around $100. I try not, I'm not rich, but about $100 is about all I can afford right now. If one comes available that's under 2 and within 4 hours of driving from me, I'm probably going to go to it if I'm not working. But since I work 15 on 6 off, it's hard for me to schedule matches when I can do them. My local range, they're total fuds, and they won't let you run anything other than trap shoot, skeet shoot, or bench rest rifle. That's all they want to run, and anything else they're not going to support. If that is your local range, get on the board. This coming year, I'm running for the board. Even though I'm not going to be in town that much, I'm still running for the board for my local shooting range. They need a kick in the seat to figure out what's going on in the world. They're talking about bringing in more young members because they're all a bunch of old people. But then everything that the young people want to do, they run them off. But that's not what this video is about. It's about this Polymer 80 G19 with all the nice accoutrements. But don't be afraid of the Olights. I've beat the piss out of them for 2 years. I'm still carrying the Olight SR2 baton that I've been carrying for 2 years. It still holds a charge just fine. Hasn't blown up. I will say, don't lick the back. If you put it in your mouth, hold it in your teeth. Keep your tongue the hell away from it, because it will make your tongue go numb. Very well. Make your tongue go numb. I haven't done that tonight. But everybody's still worried about that guy that got killed 3 years ago when he had one in his mouth, when he was leaning over his battery. And they outsource the batteries. It's not their factory that makes the batteries, so who says it wasn't the battery that killed him? Now, I'm not saying don't be careful with them, but it's still something to think about. One incident where one individual got killed, and how many thousands of these are in the US, are being used on a daily basis, and they work, and they're cheap. This one was about 80 bucks. I got a deal. I got 2 of the Valkyrie PL Mini 2s for right at $100 on a sale. I try and buy them on a sale. Get on their website, get them on sale. They're good lights. I beat the piss out of them. I run them in running guns. I had one completely submerged for I don't know how long, because the whole gun was completely submerged. Every running gun is going to have a water obstacle. You're going to have to deal with a water obstacle on the running guns. So get ready for it. It's worth it. It's fun. It's hard. Yes, those two things can go together. But do you some running guns, get you some training, run whatever you're comfortable with. If you feel like Insight is good for you, run an Insight. If you feel like you got to have a Surefire, run a Surefire. If you want an Olight, run an Olight. Whatever makes you comfortable, run it. I run a p80 with a holosun with an Olight. That's what I run. And some people will say I'm wrong. I run KCI mags. There you go. There's your proof. I run KCI mags because they work in my gun. I have tested them in my gun. If they don't run in your gun, don't run them. If you can run an ETS mag, by all means, run an ETS mag. If you can run an RWB mag, run an RWB mag. If you feel like you need to run stock Glock mags in your Glock, run stock Glock. Run stock SIG. Run, Colt mags. I've got some Colt mags that I just got in that are 40 rounders that I don't know that I trust. They just came in. They're rough. The cheapo GI mags for $9, they run them. If they run, run them. Otherwise, chuck them in a bin, and when shit gets real tight, sell them to somebody you don't like. But, don't chuck them in the trash, or do if you're that moral. I hadn't sold my Pro Mags that don't work. I hadn't sold my RWBs that don't work. They're sitting on a shelf. I have Amendment 2 mags that I tore apart that the springs are still good. The followers are trash. The base plates are trash. The bodies are trash. But they got good springs. So I pulled the springs out of them and trashed the rest. So I've got rebuild kits. Well, I've got rebuild springs for everything else that I've got. You got to pick and choose your battles. And right now, hold on to everything that you can. Try and follow the law when you can and when you can't. If you can't be good at it.